Canelo Alvarez has announced his next opponent for this year's Cinco de Mayo extravaganza, but it's none of the names we'd hoped would get the big money fight. After the undisputed super middleweight champ easily defended his titles against the undisputed junior middleweight champ Jermell Charlo, it was all but announced that he'd follow that up with a bout against Jermell's middleweight champion brother, Jermall. That was before Canelo's three-fight deal with PBC fell through, leaving the Mexican superstar looking elsewhere for a dance partner. He was reportedly seeking a big-name American opponent to bring in the pay-per-view dollars, and the welterweight champ Errol Spence Jr. was in his sights right up until Terrence Crawford crushed him in 9 rounds. Crawford wanted the Canelo payday, but he's a former lightweight champion. This possibly made him look too small to be a legitimate challenge for the super middleweight champ Canelo, who has won a title at light heavyweight. Unable to lock down a fight with any other promoters, Canelo returned to PBC, and they finally found him a name. But it's still not the undefeated American WBC interim super middleweight champion and legitimate danger David Benavidez, who ticks every box imaginable. No, Canelo has instead chosen to make his fellow Mexican Jaime Munguia rich. But does he belong in the ring with Canelo? The undefeated Munguia is definitely a talent, and his latest win was the biggest of his life, a 9th-round stoppage against John Ryder. That may be significant because when Canelo fought Ryder in May of 2023, Canelo couldn't finish him. He did work him over thoroughly for 12 rounds, but before then, Canelo faced some of the best fighters of the last decade. That includes Gennady Golovkin 3 times, Sergey Kovalev for a light heavyweight title, Miguel Cotto for the lineal middleweight title, and even Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's crazy to even mention Jaime's name in the vicinity of these guys. Then again, that's how you make a name for yourself. And if Canelo falls to Jaime this May 4th in Las Vegas, a new star will be crowned. And amazingly, this will be the first time in history that 2 Mexicans will have fought for a world title heavier than middleweight. Former UFC star turned Jake Paul's boxing rival Nate Diaz is set to make his return to the squared circle, this time for a big money rivalry that started in the UFC. Diaz is bringing Street Jesus himself, Jorge Masvidal, out of his combat retirement for about this June in California. The first time they met, it was for the UFC's BMF title, and Masvidal won via a 4th-round TKO. The doctors put an end to that bout, though, due to a cut over Diaz's eye, just as Diaz felt he was finding his groove. Violence and throwing hands are in both of our bloods. But as I proved before, I'm a far superior athlete, and I'm a meaner fighter, Masvidal said in a statement. When June 1 comes, I'll put all unanswered questions to rest, live for the world to see. Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal 2 is set to go down this June 1st at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. Expect some classic press conference shenanigans in the lead-up, so long as Diaz remembers to show up. Ryan Garcia has announced on Twitter before deleting the post that the New York State Athletic Commission has requested that he undergo a mental health evaluation before he faces the junior welterweight champion Devin Haney. Is it not my U.S. constitutional right to have free speech? Garcia asked in the video. So because I'm tweeting what I'm tweeting, that's premises for a mental evaluation? That's curious, but it's also not that simple. The 25-year-old has had a history of mental health issues, dating back to 2021, when the then WBC interim lightweight champ stepped away from boxing for over a year. He later admitted that he was experiencing suicidal thoughts, but it's now 2024, and things are getting weird. They actually have the files of Jesus, the Ark of the Covenant, the giants, the clones, the aliens, files on everything he wrote on Twitter. They are the ones that let me in. Crying face emojis. Played they ass. But this is just one example of his recent tweets. Garcia has also called Elon Musk the Antichrist, made satanic references while offering to do live drug testing, predicted LA's destruction by earthquake, claimed to have been raped by a family member, accused MK Ultra of trying to clone him, apparently witnessed human trafficking, discovered who killed Tupac, and spoken in tongues. Why so serious? Garcia tweeted this week. It's all jokes, but people aren't buying it. Trolling the internet to sell the fight or not, Garcia's promoter Oscar de la Hoya insists Garcia is fine and that the fight is still happening. I just talked to him. He's in great spirits. He's working his ass off in the gym, De La Hoya said live on DAZN. Don't mind the posts. That takes like 5-10 seconds of his time. He's working hard every single minute of the day. But it can be hard to believe Oscar. Their love-hate relationship is the most tumultuous partnership in boxing today. So who knows what's going on? Haney versus Garcia is currently still on for this April 20. But don't be surprised if this fight goes away, like those pesky aliens. And to someone who refuses to go away, the great Roberto Duran has received a pacemaker after the 72-year-old was hospitalized last week. The Hands of Stone, who claimed world titles across 4 divisions and is universally acknowledged as being one of, if not the greatest lightweight in history, had a blockage in his heart that was reportedly causing irregular heartbeats. So instead of being knocked out by the disease, Duran knocked it out, just like when he knocked out that horse back in '69 to win a bet.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.